What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Louis Q from Louis Auto Repair. We are here getting ready to work on a 2013 Volkswagen Passat. It looks like it got some AC issues, and it has been determined that it's the AC compressor. So the customer would like to have the AC compressor along with the receiver dryer completed. So I'm going to go ahead and make a quick video on what we're doing today. So stay tuned. So welcome back to the channel. We are getting ready to replace the AC compressor on this 13 Volkswagen Passat, and I just got some light on here to show you. You'll see the compressor is all the way down at the very bottom. So we are going to get this thing from up underneath. We're going to go ahead and jack up, make sure we got the vehicle up pretty high because we're going underneath it. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the serpentine belt. Looks like we have the tensioner there. This belt will have to be removed, so I'm going to show you where is the tensioner and what tool that you would need to use to get that out. Okay, so stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and jack up the vehicle. All right, so with the vehicle secured properly, obviously I have the jack and jack stand holding up the vehicle just about 2 feet or so, just so I can get up underneath it. Looks like this cover is going to end up having to come off. This cover on this vehicle, it looks like somebody was already underneath here. It is cracked and it is also missing some bolts. So be sure to save the bolts whenever you are removing this skid plate. Sometimes people actually miss them and then start putting up zip ties. In any case, this one is actually already somewhat loose. As you can see, somebody was once in here and this thing is already kind of falling apart here. So wanted to make sure I put that in the notes. But in any case, this here front portion of it is not the radiator. That is actually your condenser. What's on the other side of that is actually the radiator. In this case, the receiver dryer is that they're located right there. I don't know if you can see that. That is your that is your receiver dryer. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that and replace that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the cover off, get to the actual compressor, and then we'll look at removing the serpentine belt along with the tensioner. All right, y'all, so this is the very first belt that we're going to remove. It is the one on the outside. You see this one also has, so 2 different belts. One is on the inside, which the tensioner is up top, and then this one here, which the tensioner is actually right there. So that one there is going to be the first tensioner we actually loosen to get this first belt off. With this being said, it is actually going to be a 15mm wrench. Okay, you can use the open end, or you can go ahead and use, I got a ratchet wrench, so I'm going to use the ratchet wrench to get up in there and go ahead and loosen up and see if I can get that loose for y'all. Okay, so it's going to be that one there. Sorry for the focus. It's going to be that one there, and you're going to go in that direction towards the firewall. All right, talk to you soon. All right, so it's going to be a 15mm. I got a wrench here as well. Right there is going to be the actual tensioner bolt. What you're going to do is you're just going to pull on the tensioner towards the radiator, okay, towards the front of the vehicle, and that will release the tension of the second belt. All right, now that both belts are off, now we can go ahead and dismount. There are a few things you want to do. There is actually a connector here. You're going to want to remove that first. And then there are 3 mounting bolts. They are 13mm. I'm going to be using a socket and ratchet. There's one here. There's one there. Let's see if you can see that. Sorry, the focus is a little off. All right, so there's one there. One there, and then there's one gonna be at the top. Let's see if I can get the camera in there for you. And one there. All right, so 3 mounting bolts to get the AC compressor to be removed, and then we'll remove the lines from the top. right, so in order to remove the lines, there are going to be 2 bolts, and you're going to need a Torx head. It's going to be a T45. Not sure if you can see that, but a T45 is what you need to take both those lines out. So make sure you hold on to that, because that is a special tool that you would definitely need to get the lines out. All right, so now that the compressor is out, we are going to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, you know what I'm talking, just to make sure that everything matches on both compressors. Now, getting the compressor out, one of the lines did give me a little bit of an issue. If you take notice, this here was actually not so bad, wasn't rusted or anything, but if you take notice of that one there, it held onto that line very well, and it would not release that line. So you may or may not have to pry it out with a flathead screwdriver, but I was able to get both out, even though it gave me a little bit of a fight. But as you see, the compressor's out, so we won that battle. So now we're just going to go ahead and reassemble everything according to how we did it the first time. We'll go ahead and show the video. All right, so reassembly is pretty much what we did in reverse. Obviously, you know, there's a bolt there, there's a bolt right up top here. What I wanted to do was get it started so that way I could show you. Basically, I just mounted it up. I made sure that both lines were actually on. Once I made sure the lines were on, they actually came with new bolts. You can utilize the new bolts. We'll see how they respond and how they work, but they were able to do what they had to do as far as locking the lines down and getting everything in order there. Once I had the 2 lines pretty much on the top locked in place, I went ahead and threaded this one in to get started, and then I'm threading now the one up in the center here to get started before I go to the one in the front. So pretty much I'm going to go ahead and mount all 3, lock all 3, and I'll be right back. All right, so as we are attempting to get the actual AC, the receiver dryer out of the system, it looks like from when you look into the actual bumper section that it would have to come up and you would have to take it out. Now, mind you, if you were removing the entire radiator support system, you would have to remove it out to get the condenser out. Absolutely 100%. There's no way around that. Book time calls for about 3 hours. In this case, when you are actually looking inside here, you cannot see the actual receiver dryer. When you look inside in the grill area, you can see in front that the receiver dryer is right in front. Now, in most cases, some of this assembly would have to come off in order to actually get it up and out of the way. In this case, not so much. What you do is you get up underneath here and you are using a 1/4 inch, okay, ratchet. You have the 3-inch extension, and then you would have a T30. I don't know if y'all can see that. A T30, okay? T30 is what you're gonna need in order to get that out. So it is, again, in that section there. Let's see if I can remove the camera. So it's in that section there. You take the 2 bolts from up underneath out. Once you take those 2 bolts out, you slide it up, you get it right out, and you are good to go. All right, now we got the new receiver dryer back in, locked in place. You got 2 bolts there. Again, they're T30s. You get them from up underneath. There's a little slot right there, okay? Once you get them locked in place, you are good to go. All right, so lastly, everything you want to check, make sure that the belt itself is routed properly. You want to make sure that everything as far as lines and connectors are completed. Everything you have there looks good and is ready to go. Now we're going to go ahead and fire it up.